at the AU Summit. Let's listen in.
Into the global value chains and the global economy through trading. Ours is a continent on the rise. Consider, for example, that last year 17 African countries grew by 3% to 5%, and 20 countries grew by 5% and above. 6 of the fastest growing economies in the world are on our continent. Foreign direct investment to Africa grew by 11% last year, far exceeding 4% growth in Asia, even as FDI declined by 13% globally and by 23% in developed economies. Africa is indeed diversifying its international partnerships, thus broadening the scope of cooperation with various players around the world. This will create further linkages for us to pursue infrastructure built on a massive scale. There are large infrastructure projects in the pipeline being driven by the PIKI, like the Trans-Maghreb Highway in North Africa, the North-South Road, rail and related infrastructure corridor connecting extensive parts of Southern Africa, as well as the Central Corridor and the Abidjan-Lagos Corridor Highway. The AU has designated some heads of state as champions of trans-boundary infrastructure projects in the following sectors: information and communications technologies, transport, energy, water and sanitation, as well as agriculture. This will enable PIKI countries to provide the necessary strategic impetus for infrastructure built in the sub-regions and indeed on the continent as a whole. South Africa champions the North-South Corridor rail project and has over the years successfully convened a number of PIKI heads of state breakfasts and luncheons as a precursor to the heads of state government Orientation Committee Infrastructure Subcommittee, where we report on progress to our counterparts and to the AU Summit. The underlying support structures include the PIKI Africa-wide Interministerial Committee meetings, the PIKI South Africa Ministerial Task Team meetings, as well as the PIKI Senior Official Technical meetings, which typically precede AU summits. South Africa, together with the PIKI countries, remains committed to ensuring the PIKI is central to the success of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, as well as the AU's Agenda 2063. The report we have with regards to the PIKI continent-wide country projects is quite impressive and is as follows. The Kinshasa-Brazzaville Bridge Road and Rail Project, led by the Republic of Congo and the DRC, there has been excellent progress with unlocking the necessary funding in this regard. This was one of the key successes at the Africa Investment Forum that was held in Sandton in Johannesburg, South Africa in November 2019. And in talking about this, I do indeed want to pause and applaud the initiative that President Adesina, the President of the Africa Development Bank, has come up with, that we should each year hold an Africa Investment Forum where the bank has been able to mobilize not hundreds of millions, but billions of dollars in investment in infrastructure on our own continent. And this is a great success and needs to be applauded. The other project that's quite impressive is the Abidjan-Lagos Highway project led by Côte d'Ivoire. Côte d'Ivoire formally submitted their PIKI project in 2019. Good progress has been reported, and the Africa Development Bank has agreed to provide the necessary funding. The Lake Victoria Mediterranean Sea Navigational Line, led by Egypt, the feasibility was concluded successfully, and Egypt will now proceed with a feasibility study. Egypt also led on the Cairo to Cape Road project. The progress report we received is that it has been very good. The Lamu Port Southern Sudan-Ethiopia Transport Corridor, led by Kenya. The progress has also been good. Berth 1 has been completed in 2019, and Berth 2 and 3 will be finalized by the end of 2020. Developing an international logistics hub led by Namibia. The report we've received is that progress has also been very good in this regard. Then there is the Trans-Sahara Gas Pipeline, which is led by Nigeria, and the report has shown that there has not really been much progress on this project. The ICT-1 Network Africa Broadband and Optic Fiber projects linking neighboring states, led by Rwanda. The report we have is that progress is proceeding very well. The Dakar-Bamako Road Rail project led by Senegal. The report we obtained was that progress has been made, but it has been slow. The Trans-Sahara Highway road links led by Algeria. There has been notable progress reported here. And the optic fiber link between Algeria and Nigeria via Niger, led by Algeria. We will endeavor to get an update on progress with regard to this report. The Sawakin Port Sudan project will be led by Sudan, who will be the latest country to join the PIKI in 2020. Now, as political champion for the North-South Road, Rail and related infrastructure corridor, South Africa also has progress to report. We have shortlisted the following 4 projects for fast-tracking and implementation. The Beitbridge border post connecting South Africa and Zimbabwe, together with related road and rail infrastructure. The Inga 3 hydropower project involving South Africa, the DRC, Namibia, Botswana, and Angola. The Lesotho Highlands Water Project Phase 2 involving South Africa and Lesotho. We are positioning ourselves to become a hub for the manufacture and supply of rail stock for Africa in line with the African AU resolution. We are pleased to report that there has been substantive and very good progress on all these 4 projects. The PIKI must continue to play a key role in meeting the aspirations of Agenda 2063, of increasing intra and inter-regional trade, of promoting road, rail, and port infrastructure in the region, of using financial institutions to collaborate with the private sector to expand on the continent, and of identifying and promoting practical opportunities for cooperation based on complementary national endowments. The decisions we make now at the AU and over the next few years will have an extraordinary and enduring impact on our own fortunes as well as those of ordinary people on our continent. Also at the sub-regional level and at the global economy level. Where there are hurdles or barriers, including blockages, we must resolve them and remove those barriers. We must also identify the missing links, the choke points, and the bottlenecks that prevent the rapid development of the PICI projects and attend to them. Through the PICI, we have a perfect vehicle for attracting greater investment and for driving the developmental agendas of our respective countries on our beloved continent. I wish to reiterate the offer by Minister Mthembu that South Africa will host an international financing investment conference where we will open up the PICI and the North-South corridor and fast-tracked projects for investment and take off, and a North-South corridors roadshow led by heads of state and our ministers. In conclusion, allow me to thank the African Union Development Agency, NEPAD, that schedules meetings together with the PICI and in particular the CEO, Dr. Mayaki, who has done incredible work to ensure that we get to this point. I'd like to thank you again for your presence. Your presence here is much valued, but it is also a presence which I'm sure you will all appreciate, because it's not only a moment where you come to listen to our speeches, but it is also an opportunity for you to have your midday meal. And it's a free meal as well, and enjoy your lunch.
His Excellency, President Ramaphosa, thank you very much for the report on PICI.
All right, it seems that we lost that feed there, but you heard the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, speaking there, talking on issues of infrastructure, but basically giving a progress report of what has been done on the continent. But he was saying that should there be any barriers in terms of infrastructure, this must be removed apace. And he was also complimenting Dr. Ibrahim Mayaki. He's the CEO of the new Partnership for Africa's Development Agency, that's NEPAD to you and I, in terms of the work that has been done so far. We're going to hear much more from the President in the next 2 days or next day or two. Remember, this is happening over the weekend, and South Africa is assuming the chairship of the African Union. South Africa, in particular, the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, will hold a number of bilaterals with other heads of state at this summit. And among the issues on the agenda at the 2020 Assembly is the consideration of the 35th Ordinary Session of the Executive Council. And this has to do with peace and security, the situation on the continent. We know among the top issues is Libya and the situation there. So we will keep a very close eye on the situation in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Quick break, more news next.